weekend is over, and as any self-respecting gardener knows, there are a whole pile of garden tasks to be done.
Throughout the rest of the morning, we'll be live in green-fingered chef Annabel Langbein's veggie patch. Morning, Annabel. How does your garden grow?
Yeah. Hi, Annabel. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very well. Your garden's looking very green. Tell us all about it.
I'm struggling to keep up with it, actually. I'm having to pull laterals out of my tomatoes so that they don't turn into these massive, humongous bushes, and I can actually get some tomatoes out of them. So you just pull these little things out of the side here, and that keeps the central stem clear, and then the plant will just keep going up, and it will fruit off each of those laterals coming off there. So that's one of the things. But I don't know if you've got a garden, you guys. Has anyone there got a garden?
Everybody's got a garden.
We've planted our tomatoes at the weekend.
Oh, that's really good. Look, I have got tomatoes ripe over here. How's this? I got in really early. Yeah, I've got these gorgeous little cherry tomatoes, and there's, you know, like, here we are.
Yum. We're going to be following you into the kitchen very soon. What are you going to be taking inside and cooking from your garden this morning?
Well, I don't know if you remember last time we were here, the broad beans were just starting, so I've got fantastic broad beans. And I thought, you know, everybody's trying to kind of cut back a bit and feel like they're hunkering down. Nobody's got any money, so let's make some delicious food from the garden that's in season and it's economical. So we've got really lovely pasta with broad beans, and you could make it with any kind of seasonal greens. So I've got rocket and broad beans, and I've actually got some asparagus in my bed over here.
Yum.
So I'm going to put that in. Not very much, but a little bit. And then I've got a really nice soup that's a lentil soup, and it's kind of still a spring soup. It's got leftover vegetables from winter like pumpkin, but I've got heaps of carrots. And I don't know if you've noticed, but at the moment everything's bolting because it's nearly the longest day. So all these plants actually want to go to seed. And so you've got to really get in now and pick them. Can you see that? So the leeks are going to seed, the carrots will go to seed. So you just actually, if you've got a veggie garden, harvest as much as you can. Pull this out of here, and that will stop that from going to seed, and you'll get another few weeks out of it before it actually just goes to seed. But when it does go to seed, keep some of that. And if you look over in my garden here, I don't know if we've got time, but if we look over here, I always try and save some of these, a couple of plants, and let them go to seed so that I can actually save the seeds.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone. We've run out of time, but we will come back to you
in the kitchen
to see what you're cooking up there.
Look forward to it. See you then.
That sounds great. I look forward to it.
Now, it's not just the satisfaction of growing your own homegrown veggies are also more nutritious and flavour-packed, thanks to the fact they don't spend days in chillers as they make their way to the supermarkets.
Plus, it really does feel wonderful, the good life, to share your super bounty about. We're heading back to Annabel Langbein in her garden. She's harvesting like crazy. Hi, Annabel. What's ready for the table in your garden?
Oh my goodness me, I just can't. I can't keep up with it. I'm making, actually today I thought I'd show people how to make a kind of a spring pesto, because if you've got that, it's a really good flavour base. So I've got heaps of mint here, and I make it with mint and parsley and a bit of garlic and lemon rind and olive oil.
So you don't, because I have trouble growing basil, Annabel, and I love pesto, but I can never grow enough basil. So you can make it with other herbs, yeah?
Yeah, you can make it. Then you can make it with watercress. You can make it with rocket.
Yum.
Any soft herb. I mean, you could even make it with spinach if you wanted to, but it wouldn't maybe have as much taste. So I've got a little cornucopia in here. I've got spinach. I've got some of that perennial rocket, which is that sort of, it's the spikier leaf.
Yum.
And then over here, which we're not necessarily going to cook today, but I wanted to show you because I'm so pleased with them. I've got these gorgeous artichokes.
Wow.
And if you've got a flower garden, you can plant these. They're such a sort of architectural plant. You can plant them, you know, just in the middle of the flower bed, and they look really pretty, and they're really fantastic to eat. And when you go to places like Italy, they sell them off the back of the truck, just by the truckload, and we often grow them. We've got no idea what to do with them, and you sort of, they languish, and then they get too big. But I learnt last year that the thing I do is pare them right back, peel off all these outer leaves, and then I just cook them in olive oil, and then they'll keep in the fridge for a year or so. It's sort of like, you know, when you buy expensive preserved artichokes, you can do your own. Really easy.
Is it that easy? Just peel all the leaves off and then you've got artichoke hearts, or is that?
And then you cut them in half and you scoop out, there's a bit of a hairy choke, and they'll oxidise really quickly. So you just want to brush them with a bit of lemon juice, or put them in water with a bit of vinegar or lemon juice before you cook them so they don't go brown. And then I just literally, it's almost like you could bake them in olive oil if you wanted to for about an hour at a reasonably low temperature. And then that's it. And then they're so delicious in pastas, or, you know, served as an antipasti, something like that.
Yeah.
But my maid just my major skite at the moment is my broad beans. I'm just crazy about broad beans. And last time we were in my garden, they were just really tiny, but at the moment, they're beautiful.
Wonderful.
And isn't that exciting? And, you know, I tend to pick them, I'm too mean to pick them when they're really small, so I pick them when they're about this big. And I'll eat the whole bean, but if you're a chef, I'm just a cook, but if you're a chef, you'll be a purist and you'll peel that outer husk off. Often people don't like broad beans because they can be a wee bit bitter around that outer skin.
Yeah.
But, and they're just so yummy in a pasta, and they've got lots of protein in them, all of the bean family
Annabel,
legumes.
What do you find a benefit of eating seasonally? Obviously you don't have to go to the supermarket very often.
Well, I think there's several things. That what's the benefit of eating seasonally? I didn't quite hear that.
Yeah.
Well, for a start, it's incredibly inspiring as a cook. You know, you can feel really creative because you look at this produce and it's so beautiful. You go, oh, am I going to make a spinach tart, or shall I make a salad? Or so there's that sort of creative side to it. But I also think it's really economical as well because, like right now, all this is on go, it's ready to eat, it's its natural season. So because it's at a peak, it's going to be much cheaper. And I think if people don't go to the supermarket or don't go to the farmer's market, actually the farmer's market's the best place to go because you are actually going to get what's in season. But if you go and you don't go with a recipe in mind, you just buy with your eyes and you see what's freshest, and usually what's freshest is going to be what's cheapest. I mean, pumpkin's about $1 a kilo at the moment. And imagine all the meals that you can make with that. We've got a really yummy lentil soup that I've put it in.
Annabel, what are you going to make for us in the next cross just before 9 o'clock this morning? What are you taking from the garden to the kitchen?
Okay, so I've got my broad beans and we're going to put these in a little pasta with the rocket and the spinach, and then I'm going to make a pesto with the mint and the parsley and a wee bit of garlic and lemon rind, a bit of olive oil. And then we've got this really nice soup happening. And we're probably not going to have time, but I've just started making my own bread. So I've got a sourdough that's mixing up there. And over the weekend I made this fantastic silver beet tart, just with cooked off onions, a bit of garlic, lots and lots of silver beet, some fennel seeds, a bit of cumin. It's the spices, you know, that make it a bit more interesting. Wee bit of Parmesan cheese, and you just bake it like a pizza. It was so delicious.
So it's off to your place for lunch, is it?
Yeah, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Thanks, Annabel. We'll see you in a little while.
That's great. Okay, cool.